by everyone I mean grinders. That's what I'm supposed to call you guys. Welcome to the 12th episode of The Grind. We are back with my face being shown, and so cool for you guys who want to see my face. And I am joined not only by Jaren, but by Zero Zilch Kaputt, a good dude from our Discord, one of our listeners. And if you guys want to say hi, Jaren first, if you want to say hello.
Yeah, welcome guys. We've got a lot of good content planned for this episode, so should be good.
Yeah, that's Jaren. You guys have met him 12 times before, and maybe more. And Kaputt, do you want to say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone. I just want to say at the start, right, I'm honored to be on the show. And Mom, I've made it. I've made it to the longest running, oldest Summoners War podcast show.
True.
That is true. I guess we can claim that.
But we are. That's definitely going to be our tagline. It's not going to be weekly Summoners War podcast. It's going to be the longest running, oldest Summoners War podcast by, weeks and months in some cases. But
thanks for that too, by the way. That feels nice. And we've learned a lot from you already, just from having you around for the Discord and everything. So thanks for being on the show. Honestly, thank you.
No problem.
You'll be able to add a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly though, Keith, side note, and there will be very few people that I think will probably understand, but who was it that used to post they were looking for pilots with the oldest corp in wormhole history or whatever?
Dude.
Ad hoc. It was ad hoc.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sure.
Side note. Yeah.
Very unrelevant to this podcast.
It set off the bells, and I couldn't think of who it was, and now I remember. But
great.
Anyway,
I'm
sorry
glad
for
that
that.
you remember.
So today, guys, we're actually we're going to talk about RTA again. I know we've talked about it in the past, and the great thing about Summoners War and RTA is that it changes. So we're going to talk about it again. Yeah. So there were actually. Go ahead.
Quick,
sorry.
If you guys are watching my YouTube version of this, you may notice some technical difficulties on my end. My iPad keeps unconnecting, and then I have the tier list up in the background. So you may, there may be something. I'm aware that there are some visual issues, but at least it's better than nothing. Okay, that's all I want to say. You might, there it is. You might get some finger guns if I get any good runes, which is helpful. But yeah, really quick actually. Before we talk about RTA and the tier list, Jaren, not to.
Well, I mean, we still got to go through, all the good stuff that happened last week.
Yeah, well, I want to give people some insight into Kaputt a little bit. I want to know.
That's a good point too.
How long have you been playing the game, Kaputt? What is your favorite monster? The general things. Give us just a little bit what's and we'll ask specific questions. But what's your history with Summoners War? How long have you been playing? What do you enjoy about the game? Just give us a little bit so people, can get some context to who you are.
My in-game name is Kaputt. I've been playing for about 1,700 over days on my profile. But actually, for the first year, right, I was. Then I just played around with it for a few days, right, and I stopped for about a year. So just subtract away 300 days from there. I've been playing for about 1,400 days, almost every day. I used to be in a farming guild, and now I'm in a competitive guild called SG Kaki on global. So if there are any Singaporeans out there who wants a guild that is mainly Singaporeans, please come and apply to us.
Okay.
Sweet.
And my favorite unit is the one that I just pulled.
Oh yeah. Well, we can go into that too. So who is that, Kaputt? Who did you pull just this last week?
I pulled my third LND, Peter, the Dark Druid.
Man,
I'm extremely jealous. Dude.
He is quite strong, right? He's like an immunity unit, right? With also a bunch of other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He can kill himself. He's got it's defensive scaling damage, right? Kaputt, or am I off on that?
S2.
I think we lost you for a second there, but yeah, I mean he's a bruiser. He's a heavy bruiser. Kaputt actually shared some arena replays with me the other day. Man, he's honestly intense. Like he's so solid, and I've noticed like people in one of them like will make the mistake of like trying to target him and take him out early, and he can eat so much damage. It was insane. Which Kaputt also has great runes, which play a lot into that. But who were your other two L&Ds? I actually didn't know you had 3 so far. That's impressive in and of itself.
I have Wolong, which is the Dark Sky Dancer, and I have Kraka, the Dark Hell Lady.
Oh, she's actually really good too, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She's not really good
weird
for
vibe, right? Kraka?
Yes, but she's just decent for RTA. She's not like top tier or anything like that.
Oh,
Enough,
okay.
I guess. Yeah.
And then I call her Dark Sky Dancer because I haven't seen her enough to actually be familiar with how to say her name. Dark Sky Dancer. What does she do?
She has a S1, same as all Sky Dancers, which does nothing.
Yes.
Her S2 is
it's powerful.
Her S2 is Chesun's heal. Chesun's S2, exactly the same. Attack buff and a heal.
Okay.
Just okay. Her S3 is a nuke. It's a 4-hit nuke.
It doesn't sound very useful.
Yeah, she's like a healer / damage dealer, but she doesn't bring enough. If you watch Sean B's videos, right, he has talked about her problems and all that. He even complained that she's like a net 4, she's not net 5.
Oh yeah, I was thinking she sounds like a Huahi, right? Like Huahi's.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Does the same thing, right? Doesn't Huahi have the same kit? Only has a 7-hit on it there. I don't know.
He used her exactly like a Huahi.
Yeah. Okay, so she's just a really fancy Huahi. Wow, I'm failing giant.
Well, and
yeah, okay.
I'd be interested in like the multipliers because I know Chisun's S2 scales off of her HP, right? So if that is HP scaling and then like the S3 is attack scaling, that would make her even like more awkward because like what do you do? Like what do you do?
Yeah.
She's usually built like an Annabelle, I guess. Speed, HP, attack.
Gotcha.
Which means that she needs a lot of stats and she's not very tanky, which is why we don't really see Wolong in.
Yeah.
So what?
Wolong, right? Just target the Wolong first. Usually it's the squishiest.
So what's your? I mean, I know we're literally talking about L&D Nat 5s. This is the least relatable content in the world. But what's your history with them? I know you said 1,700 days minus 300.
Okay.
But like you were in a farming guild, now you're in a competitive guild. But like, what did you do at first? What did you enjoy about it then? Has that changed? What do you enjoy about the game now? Why do you still play after 1,700 days?
Funny story, right? For those of you who are like salty about my L&Ds and all that, here's a funny story that make you feel better. First 3 years of my Summon Sword gaming life, right? I've had very, very, very bad luck. I had 12 net 5s after 3 years.
Wow.
12 in the first year. Right, I have 12 net 5s in the first 3 years. So when I joined this competitive guild, right, they were like not really going to accept me, but because I was Singaporean and I talked to the guild leader and all that, right, so I was put on probation kind of thing. He didn't really want to accept me because of my box. Joined, right, I had the lowest net 5 count in the entire guild, even though I'm not the one that's the newest player and all that. I've actually been playing quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a real struggle. I've had friends who tease me that that my account is cursed. I should just remake an account.
Yeah.
And I even went when I first joined the guild, right, I went on a 6-month drought, which means that from December to May, I've had zero lightnings. fives, 0 LNDs and all that, right? And my luck only changed last year in May.
Wow. So you pulled 3 LND Nat 5s in a year.
Half a year. I pulled 3 LND Net 5s in half a year. I pulled like
half a year.
10 over Net 5s, 10 over Net 5s within that half a year. I've been pulling like maybe 3 a month.
I think that'll make people more salty.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that story.
This is just to show that, right? This is just to show that if you keep at it, if you really persevere through your droughts and all that, right, things will change.
Yeah, I mean the rates will end up like in your favor eventually.
I know people are going to be curious. Do you spend a lot on the game? Do you spend any on the game? Free to play?
Not
like LND packs. What's your?
No, I've never bought LND packs and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys.
It's really
it's possible, right? What's your?
It's really RNG.
You have a secret summoning ritual, don't you, for getting LND Nat 5s?
Telling my guild this. Every time when I accumulate up to 45 over 50 pieces of LND pieces, right, I will refresh the shop until I get the last 5 and I summon immediately. Doing this for all 3 LNDs, it's always a 1 scroll summon because it's just 50 over 50 pieces, and all 3 LNDs I got it this way.
Okay, so I just want to point out that that I do that every time I have pieces, and I've gotten lightning once, so proof that it works. Yeah. You know, proof of concept. I got a fella.
It does work, but
it works. It works like 0.35% of the time. It'll work. I promise.
There we go. That sounds about right. I mean, I think my Asima was just the monthly LND. Or the monthly LND scroll. So
yeah, I actually remember you telling that story too. You like got it when you were like driving and summoned and like looked up because you had to drive, and then you looked back down and you're like, what? yeah.
I mean, I was 100 days into the game, so I didn't know what it was or what I knew it was good and rare, but I didn't know how good or how rare it was. And so I didn't freak out as much as a normal human. Like I was literally merging onto.
Yeah, and so then he texted me about it, and like maybe not right at that time. It might have been later. I don't know at this point, but he texted me and he's like, so I just pulled something, and this was at a point in time where we were like sending every lightning to each other in a picture. Yeah. So every little every orang that we got or whatever, like we were sending like, oh, I just got a lightning, and he's like, you won't believe what I just pulled, and I was like, what is it? And like a Nat 5, and he was like, I'm scared to send it to you. So he's like, you're gonna be salty.
Even back then, you were constantly talking about how like you really wanted like an LND lightning, because I had Ashabel.
Yeah, because I didn't get one.
I've never had an LND lightning. Like, I'm so salty. I'm never gonna get an LND lightning. And then I literally pulled Asima before you'd ever even gotten an LND lightning on your account.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that like Ganny was also like his first Nat 5, and like,
jeez, Ganny, good guy Ganny. Okay, so we've really gotten off track. But what do you like doing in the game? Why do you play? Why do you enjoy Summoner's War?
Nowadays is really for the guild. It's the community that I'm in. So because we chat a lot in guild chat, and there's a lot of like trolling around and all that. So most of my time I'm chit-chatting with the guild while I'm farming. It makes the game not boring, you see. Because if you want to be competitive, or if you are really serious about the game, you're farming all the time. Yeah. It's very boring when you're doing that. So it helps that you're in a guild where everybody's talking. We have meetups too.
Oh,
the
nice.
guild actually organizes meetups because we're all in Singapore. So he will ask.
I'd love that, man.
Not everybody does that, but yeah.
I wish I was in like a Southern California based guild and could freaking meet up with those dudes. But
I think we are the only guild in global that's almost fully Singaporean, and we do such things. I know that there are 1 or 2 more like half Singaporean guilds, but I'm not sure if they meet up or not. I've been with this guild since I quit my farming guild, and I'm here.
Yeah.
So most of the time I'm chit-chatting, and then when I'm free and I can look at my iPad, I will RTA.
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah, I
That's
see.
nice.
I
That makes
play
sense.
so passive. Like I really can't chat because like it's literally most of the time it's at work. I hit replay, turn my phone over, set it back down, and then come back like 10 minutes later usually. Sell my rune, replay, back at it. So it's really difficult for me to like be super active, but I do try to like chat on the weekends and some afternoons and stuff. But how big is Singapore? And forgive me because I'm really bad at geography. I know roughly where it's at, but how big of a country is Singapore?
Man, it's just a dot on the map. I think the total land mass of Singapore is like 643 square kilometers.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
See,
I mean, Singapore is very like. I mean, again, forgive me if I'm ignorant, but it's very different compared to a lot of Southeast Asia, right? Because it's very like modern
Yes.
and it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like a hub or whatever, but I know that it's like very different than a lot of the neighboring countries or neighboring places, right? Is that?
Yes. Yeah, Singapore is quite cosmopolitan. We have about 6 million people right now.
Mhm.
So it's a very small country, but a lot of people, so it's like getting overcrowded.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean like that's like
Yeah.
that's about the size of the city that I live in, realistically. Not really, but that is really small.
Pretty far off, but yeah.
Which is why
Yeah,
it's easy
no,
to have guild meetups, right?
yeah.
It
No,
just
I
takes
mean,
a half an hour drive to whoever you want to meet.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not bad at all. And how often do you guys get to meet up? That's because that is kind of cool that you guys can do that.
Our guild lead like organizes one once every few months. He will everybody like because I think about 6 of them know each other, like real life friends.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Have meetups very often, and then sometimes when they have meetups, right, they'll just ask the guild, like whoever is free, come and join them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That makes
cool.
sense. It does. It sounds really awesome. That like that very much would be a reason I would continue playing. Right? Is like having friends and people and like a community. I mean, like for me, I'm still fully addicted to the game, but like the community that we've built around this podcast is a huge motivator for me to like log in and grind and farm. Because I gotta progress, right? I'm part of this community. People are invested in my shitty runes getting less shitty over time. So
Yeah.
I gotta do that for people. But I get that. That makes a lot of sense. And then I know you said when you can focus, you do RTA, and I mean you're C3 RTA. Is that correct?
I've been C3 since season 4. I started in season 3. I got C1 when I just started.
Do you think? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
And after that, right, I've been C3 for every season. Every season, I inch a little bit closer to getting G1, but it's still very far out my reach. But this season, I'm hopeful because I finally put some meta units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting because I remember I asked Mystery Hunt a similar question because he's G1, and he says that his answer was basically he thought he was going to fall to C3 from G1 over time because he feels like he's getting out farmed or outplayed. But it seems like you obviously are one of those people creeping up there, that you feel like you're moving in the direction of G1. Where I thought it was really interesting that Mystery Hunt was like, yeah, I'm not going to be G1 forever. Like I can't keep up. But
But the interview with him, right, was before ComTours announced the changes in RTA, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They did change the tiers and stuff.
Apparently easier. There are more people who are going to get into G1, if I'm not wrong. Which means
Okay.
that the pool of people who will make it in is bigger, which is why I feel I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, definitely. And with units and you continuing to get better, because I mean, there's diminishing returns on farming in this game. Like you know, like if your fastest rune is 15 speed, it's going to take you 5 seconds to get a faster rune. But if your fastest rune is 28 speed, you know, it's going to take you forever to get a faster rune, right? So it's, you know, all these people up there in G1, like are they making that many meaningful improvements to their account? You know, maybe not, but you know, there's, you know, whatever, you understand what I'm saying. There's, you know, diminishing returns up there that makes it, you know, different and allows people to, you know, effectively catch up a little bit. You know, I mean, we're never going to have the same runes as like, you know, Barian or something, but we can still get good and, you know, improve our rank.
I just want to take this opportunity, right, to tell anyone who's listening that there are a lot of like misconceptions towards RTA. That that you need units in order to RTA, or you need runes, really top level runes, or to RTA, which I feel it's not really true, because I'm a real life example where I already told you, right. I only had 12 net 5s, out of which 10 of them were not relevant at all. I only had 2 pandas, the wind and the water panda, right, when I started RTAing. I was able to get Conqueror 1 just with those 2 and free-to-play units.
Yeah, okay.
So it's possible when you do not have units. It's really possible. The next few seasons, I did not pull anything new. I was, all the way until season 7, I was still using 2 pandas, Harmonia, Rakuni.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Conqueror 3.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's another thing too. Like, you know, you were finishing C3, and like Rakuni was on your core team. Yeah, so that to me says a lot about like the misconception out there too, that like you do have to have the, you know, core 5 units of, you know, Molong, Gani, Hathor, you know, whatever they are.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you have those units, right, it makes it much easier. I don't deny that.
Right.
It's really much easier with those units.
Yeah, well, I think for... Yeah, I mean, I think like RTA is... I mean, I agree very much with what you're saying, which is like you don't need to have specific runes or like, or not, sorry, specific units to do it, right? You don't have to have the most meta units to do it. But also, I think a lot of people look at RTA and they think like, oh, well, I'm not this rank. It's not fun. I hate it, you know? But honestly, like whatever rank you're at, like, you know, I mean, like you've been, you know, Kaputt, you've been C3, you know, for, you know, multiple seasons, and you still enjoy RTA. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people have like a mental barrier on, is like they think they have to be a certain rank to enjoy RTA. But if you're having fun and meaningful matches and you're improving and using new units and adding new runes and like working toward something, working toward progress, that's what should be fun. You know, you can have a fun match. Like, I mean, I'm in Fighter 3 and I can have fun matches in Fighter 3. You know, RTA can be fun wherever you're at if you have the right mindset for it. And I think that, you know, also you don't need to, you know, it's mindset, right? Even if you don't have the meta units, but you have the right mindset, you can clearly push up into, you know, into C3. And if you, you know, if you're not having fun, like that's the thing. If you don't like, you know, losing half your matches, then you're not going to like RTA, right? Because that's basically what happens, is eventually you push up to a rank where you stay, whether it's Fighter 3 for me or C3 for you or G1 for Mystery Hunt or whatever, and then you have a lot of intense matches that you lose half of and you stay there. So I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. I really do like that point though.
Right, it's the intense matches that are fun, right? Yeah. It's when you know that you are neck to neck, and then you need to think through your plays. Okay, sometimes RNG works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. You get angry for that split second when he bio procs, but it's those intense matches that make it fun. I think what is not fun for a G3 player, and I just
bless you,
that's what's not fun. Yeah, but I think many people are put off by this. They remember the matches, right? Where, like if you are in Fighter and then you meet a Conqueror 3 player because of the matchmaking and you get stomped. Or it's always going to be like this. It's so unfair. It's not fun, right? But you just have to count those bad matchmaking and focus on the games where it's close.
Yeah. Well, and something really interesting too is like, I mean, you and I did some matches, and you beat me every time, obviously. You know, Fighter 3 versus C3, but like, I learned from that, right? Like, there was a lot I actually learned from that, and you gave me some really great advice after too. But it's, I mean, the concept is like, you know, you can learn from matches where people are better than you, and you can just, you know, like the thing. I mean, there's some annoying things about RTA. Like, I get annoyed with people who are just like AFKing matches, you know, like they've got all their wings and stuff, and they're down in Fighter 3, like AFKing through, and it's like, you know, the match takes twice as long, and it's really like a struggle, and I probably will lose anyway, and then like, you know, like that's frustrating. But as a whole, like if you have another living, breathing human being on the other end and you're playing them, there's a chance for them to make mistakes. There's a chance for you to capitalize on those. And then there's also a chance for like RNG to swing in or out of your favor. And so, I mean, yeah, like I very much enjoy my matches down in Fighter 3 right now. Like, I have fun. It's, you know, it's engaging. I'm still thinking, and I'm also able to like visualize my goals for the future, you know? So it's, yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, your point of like, you know, only having a couple meta RTA units like that, you know, it gives you an idea of, hey, if I pull this in the future, this is what I can do, but you can work around it. It is what it really sounds like. You know, it sounds like from your experience, you know, you got to C3 before you pulled all the meta units that you have today. And I think that is a pretty big misconception that people have.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it doesn't it doesn't mean that you can just step into RTA with these 5 units, right? And you can just do well straight. I actually have another story about a guildie, right? That's so funny actually. He has all the meta units. Everything else. His runes are better than mine, but he is only at C1. And he's always complaining about it. He's saying that, oh, my runes are bad. I don't understand why I can't get to C3 or G1. But all of us tell him that his rune quality is like G1 caliber.
Yeah, is it a mental block? Is he just like picking weirdly, or he doesn't understand?
So here's the fun part. Here's the funny part. He does not use optimizer, right? He just makes his unit.
Okay.
According to, I mean, he does his research. He knows that, okay, my Genny has to be like 260 speed. So he's able to just make his Genny 260 speed. And with all these stats,
he doesn't,
rune, because he has the rune quality, and he puts the meta sets and all that. And he doesn't have experience with RTA because he doesn't really play it. As he has all these limiting beliefs that, oh, I need to pull all the meta units before I start.
Yeah.
He keeps thinking that his runes are not good enough. So one day, right, I finally got sick of it and told him, okay, send me your JSON file, the JSON file, right?
Yeah.
For optimizer. And I went through it. I wanted to help him, basically, right? But after looking at that JSON file, I got so salty. I was looking through his runes, right? Can you imagine? I was looking through his runes. He has 31 speed and above runes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. How many speed? I missed that. It cut out on my end. So he has 31.
26 plus speed runes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so he's got some decent rune quality then.
Do I have? I have 3.
Yeah. So
that's he has 10 times more than me, right? But that's
interesting.
It's the re-add packs all the time. He buys rune packs all the time, so it's understandable that he has more, right? But he keeps thinking that my runes are better. So when I look through it, I say, oh my god, if I rune so I have a Vanessa now, right? And he has a Vanessa. I tried to rune his Vanessa the way I rune mine, and he has so much more stats. I was able to get so much more stats on his Vanessa after using the optimizer. But when I look at his original Vanessa, right, HP, and he has exactly the same stats as me, but I'm on speed, crit, damage, HP.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it really shows how your account makes a huge difference.
Right, using the optimizer is huge. You can't. You've got, especially if you're going C3. I imagine you at least probably have 1,000 runes. Counting what you have equipped plus what's in your box and everything. Like, there's no way that you can just keep up with all that, and that's 1,000 runes minimum. I'm sure you have probably well over that, but like I say, there's just no
I
way.
have 800 runes, so you know.
I only have 800 plus. I only have 800 plus runes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was a shot in the dark.
Right, he has 30 overnet 5s, and his runes are spread out all over the place. So that was the problem.
Yeah. That will be a problem.
It does make a huge difference for sure. Like I had to laser focus my runes on like 6 units or something for RTA, and I still have trouble. But...
Yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to help him, and at the same time, right, because I'm making a serious push for G1, I've been talking to my like G1, G2 guildies about how they RTA. So we can talk about a little bit about that later. But basically, you need to focus your runes on 8.
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like you said, 8 units, right? Get cut out a tiny bit, but
yes, 8 units.
Yeah, 8 I think is probably a good number. And one thing that one thing that is really fun for me, and I'll share my experience because I've gotten into RTA a little bit here recently myself. Built a few units, been 6-starring some pretty strong guys like Bulwark and Perna. So had to at least test drive them for a while, but there's nothing more fun than tilting somebody in RTA, and like Felleria is honestly like the best at it, but Bulwark is a close second. But when someone especially picks like I've actually gone up against Asima or like any team that can put out dots. I'll see like Rika's, and I'm way down in like Challenger, so whatever. But as soon as you clear your full team stuns and like a good 6 or 7 dots onto like one of their enemy units, and they insta quit because they're just so pissed off. Like, it's so satisfying. And Felleria is already like got a super strong kit, but just little things like that. Or like I soloed a Feng Yin with Bulwark one time. Like, he was an idiot and kept using his S2, and he was on Violent, so he kept cycling it pretty quickly, and it allowed me to keep healing up, or however you want to say it. But just stuff like that. Like, I never would have expected that to happen. And sure enough, I actually got lucky and stole one of his buffs at one point, so that was nice too. But there's just nothing like it. And I don't necessarily, meta units are cool and like they're exciting to build and fun to use, but honestly, using off meta units can be just as fun because people don't know what to expect. Like Felleria, people have no idea what to expect when I pick Felleria, and they have to think about it. And that's something else that just kind of is like a mental advantage that goes in my favor. Because, if I pick her, especially last, then now that person has to probably read up on what Felleria does during the pick ban phase, or during the ban phase rather. And, that's just another advantage that I get over my opponent, because they're going to be rushed on trying to figure out who they need to ban or whatever. So, just little things like that can make a big difference.
Yeah, it's really about game knowledge. After a while, many people think that if I just have the meta units and I put my good runes on, I will succeed in RTA. But there's the picking and banning. There's the making a team composition that synergizes well and works well. And there's also gameplay. So the friend that I was talking about, right, who had all the meta units, had super good runes, he was picking he liked that he thought were OP. So he just looked at the tier list. He picked like all the OP units, and he expected to stomp on the other person, and he couldn't get out of C1. He shared his replays with us, with the guild, right? Then we were telling him that, oh, you actually picked wrongly. In this case, you banned wrongly. in that case, you went for the wrong target first and all that, which causes him all his losses.
Yeah.
A lot of aspects. It's quite a deep game, RTA, and there's also an element of luck, which is why it's so fun.
Yeah.
You can stand the tilt. You can stand the Vio procs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like any time I get a clutch sleep with my Wusa, it makes my day, and it really doesn't hurt me when I don't get it either. So it's little things like that, you know, that really make my day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, RTA is great, and I think that I think that there's so much more. Like I love it. I want to get better at it. I want to my focus is to get better at it. And I think there's just still so much more that I can learn, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the future, for sure.
Right. Well, yeah. I want to kind of get into the tier list that Pokemango puts out, and that's sure. I hope we're saying it right, boss. If we're not, sorry, dude. But I really do appreciate the work that you put in. Excuse me. So one thing that actually, if you listen, I would think would be really cool is seeing the pick rates on there. That's the only thing that I was like, man, I'd really like to know that. But past that, like it's a really useful tool to kind of at least get a good glance at, you know, what's happening in RTA, who people are picking. And it, you know, like Kaputt said earlier, you can't just like grab any 4 of these units and expect to like win every match. It's not going to work that way. But you can at least look at them and figure out, you know, what their kits are. That way you're familiar when you come across them. And, you know, past that, you can also look at, you know, people who are using them like on YouTube or whatever and see kind of how they synergize with other units. One thing I did want to point out, we do have 2 Nat 3s, unless I'm missing one, 2 Nat 3s that are on this list. So you got Raccoony, and you know we all know who Raccoony is, and he's very great at what he does. And then we've also got Fran, who was given to us for free, so everyone should have a Fran.
I was shocked at how many people in our Discord did not have a Fran, despite them giving it to us so recently.
Well,
pretty sad.
Yeah, that is kind of sad. But just looking at how high Fran is actually number 14 on the list, and it's sorted by win percentage. So what I did is I actually went to like the source, which is a website, and we can link it as well. But if you look at just the pick ratio for this season, Fran is number 5.
Yeah,
which is insanely high, and it's a Nat 3 that, you know, everyone should
Fran
have.
Is incredible.
I agree, but like
Fran's entire kit is outrageous.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that. But the point of it is, there are units out there that you probably have, that people probably have, such as Fran, that aren't OP, L&D, Nat 5s. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. Yeah. They could use these units and, you know, still push into C3 or G1, and still have fun doing it.
This is Guardian, right? Like these are picks, and like this is a Guardian level data set. I believe.
No, this is not.
Everything.
No, this is for Guardian. I can put it on any if you'd like, but this is for Guardian. And above. So let me actually put it to C1.
Oh, are we not looking at the Pokemango tier list? What are you looking at?
No, I had switched over to the source of it to look at the pick rate.
Oh no. Well, I'm looking at the Pokemango tier list, which I believe is Guardian level data.
It is. That is Guardian level data. But even with the minimum rank being C1, she is still number 5. If I go to Fighter 1...
No, I mean, it reaffirms your point, which is in Guardian, Fran is like the monster with the 14th most win rate, you know? There's...
Yeah.
You know, and look at Ager, dude. Like, I mean, I'm more excited about Nat 4s, but, like, look at where... up there. I'm you know, I don't have the eyes to count. What is that? It's like 8th and 9th are Verd and Ager, which are... you know, Nat 4s. Like, those are super accessible by the time you have the runes to start competing in RTA. there's a good chance you're going to have those. Verd is fusible, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy part. Like Verd is fusible and, is way up there. And I get it. Verd is a counter to like, Gene and a bunch of other things in the current meta. But
yeah. So, trying to find out who posted it.
Where is Gene on this list? Is Gene not even on this list?
No, Gene's on the list, and I will look for Gene for you in a second.
Why can't I find it?
She's way at the bottom by Theo. There was another tier list that was posted by a user whose name I'll have in just a second.
It's because I'm dumb and I like stretched the tier list off my screen and like couldn't find anything.
Yeah, that'll happen too. So I actually can't find the source for the tier list. Sorry guys, but Verd is actually like ranked up there along, and this is obviously one user's opinion. I think more than anything. I don't know how much data goes into this.
8 RTA tier list, right, was made by 3 of the top 5 RTA players right now.
Okay.
Okay. To the tier list as opposed to the Pokemango list.
I mean, I was just referencing it to point out that Verd was at the top, up there with Vanessa and Ganny, and
I'm trying to follow along with my visual aids for people on YouTube.
Sorry,
and
yeah,
you're all over the fucking place, but it's fine. We're now on this tier list, guys. This other tier list that Jaron is talking about, made by these dudes.
3 of the top 5 Guardian players. So yeah, I mean, Verd is up there, and there's a reason. He's a lot of people are using him, like Keith said, as a counter to Gene, because what he does usually is he will cycle through those provokes before the enemy can take advantage of them, basically. And there have been matches I've had against Keith even where I'm like perma provoked, and those are some of the funnest matches of my life. But now Keith won't be able to do that to me anymore because I'm going to pick my Verd, and he's just going to ban it.
Be able to do it for you,
and I'm going to be perma CC'd. No, I'm
more interested at the bottom of this tier list, where Vermos is apparently the worst possible light and dark monster that you can pick in RTA. Dang, man, what is like, this list has been flipped upside down. Look how low like Poseidon is on this list, and like I know Poseidon's not lit, but like why is Theo is on this list? This list is horrifying me. Leica is super bad. Do you see this? Do you see how bad Leica is on this? They hate Leica, they hate Theo, they hate me.
Well, guys, you must know that, right? This list was made for top rank RTA, right? And right now, Leica is so bad because Monkey is so good. Water Monkey.
That's true. Monkey is...
There are a lot of multi-hitters right now.
I do like Monkey. I just fully skilled mine this week. And
he's so
I was
good,
using
man.
him against... I was fighting Galton in our Discord.
Yeah.
And we're the same rank. And my Monkey went off like so many times. Like it's just, it's really good. The Monkey is great. So I guess that is why Leica is bad.
Yeah, it's not just Monkey either. You've also got Molong too, who's very common in the meta, multi-hits. So and even monsters like P-Sam, Chilling, Annabelle. Wait, no, she's not multi-hit, is she? I'm thinking of Rika. So just kidding. Not Annabelle.
He does have some hit. Like, I don't know. Some of your points were valid, I think, but
so yeah, just
Ager being very strong also is another reason.
Yeah, that too.
Ager and Leica are not friends.
But yeah, one of the other units that caught my attention was the Fire Mermaid. What's her name? Platy?
Yeah, Platy.
Yeah, which you built yours, right, Keith? Like 6-star?
Mine's 35. No, mine's on 6-star. Never 6-star Fire Mermaid. I mean, good, but I would never for like Guild War. I don't know, man. I feel like looking at this tier list, like literally, like literally anything below like the top, like anything below Theo, right? Like you see where Theo is, like he's right kind of on that line. Conqueror and Guardian on this tier list. I don't know, man. Like Ethna is so on this. Like Ethna's below that line, and Ethna does work. Like
Yeah,
I feel like Ethna's gotten a lot stronger lately.
well, and one of the things that I want to point out is just based on pick rate, right? And this shocked me, and this is why I want to talk about it a little bit at least. Geez, where is it? Okay, so Rocky has a higher pick rate than Ethna.
Which I don't know, man. I have so many fire. I feel like Rocky. I mean, maybe people are using Rocky in a way that I can't.
You're kind of breaking out a little bit, so I couldn't quite hear.
Okay.
I think it's probably like fat cleave teams as a lead. Like maybe you pick Rocky and Alicia, so you guarantee yourself a 44% attack lead, and then like
in RTA.
Yeah, you get it
right. Actually,
and as an anti-reviver. Maybe
look at them in isolation. You can't really look at units in isolation, right? Rocky is so good right now because Perna is good.
Yeah, I mean I get it. Like Rocky is a Perna counter, but
well, sort of. But if that's really the case, then you know why not the water Anubis, right?
The water
why
Anubis
Rocky?
Sucks.
Yeah,
Rocky
but so does Rocky.
Rocky does AoE. She has higher base stats.
Yeah, she has AoE armor break. She's a better bruiser. Like you can build Rocky as a bruiser and still finish Pernas. But
I mean,
Anubis is a Nat 4 with Nat 4 stats.
That's
like,
fair.
Water Anubis's kit is more loaded, but Rocky is a Nat 5 with Nat 5 stats and like has AoE armor break and a Perna counter.
That is fair. I can accept that logic.
See Rockies when I choose Perna. Rocky is really a flex pick, right? That comes out on the last pick if they are bringing Vanessa and Perna.
Yeah, I mean,
with Vanessa, does Rocky work? I guess Rocky doesn't work against Triana, right? But
Rocky's
no.
S2 is a multi-hit, you see. So
Yeah.
if he kills on the first turn and Triana's passive second hit would kill Perna and he will not revive, which is why Rocky is still good against Vanessa, Triana, Perna.
Nah, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And you know, the top pick ratio anyway is still it's still Ganny, Hathor, or sorry, let me do it in order. Hathor, Ganny, Perna, Vanessa. Those are the top 4 most picked units, Guardian and above. And then it's Fran and Diana. Ugh, freaking Diana.
Diana is, I feel, a little bit broken right now. In my ignorant opinion, I think Diana is a fucking giant, fucking evil piece of crap. Like just like so many turns and strips and turns, and I don't love it. I don't love Diana.
I feel like her strip should be honestly taken away, and that would be balanced.
No. I don't think that. I think her getting 25% bar and have skill that does 4 hits is a little overtuned. That's all I think. But I mean, I guess that's kind of the pony's kit, right? Like they're supposed to, I mean, not the water pony, but the fire pony is supposed to, you know, AoE and hit everyone and change form. Like they're supposed to not have to be stuck in their vulnerable form because they convert HP, you know, health to attack power when they're nuking, which is really strong. But then it's just like, I don't know. I mean, when like just anything with a strip is really strong.
Honestly, Diana tilts me more than anything else. I banned Diana just because I do not want to tilt. Yeah, and I think Comtours realized how broken ponies are because when they made the druids after the ponies, right?
Yeah.
They went almost the same route. They wanted form change and all that, but they did druids in a much more balanced way. So I think they recognized the brokenness of ponies, but I don't know whether I think they might be stuck or they don't know how to fix ponies without breaking them.
Well, and you say, you know, the druids were more balanced, but I mean, here I am sitting with a Baleo.
Well, tell me what the druids are less balanced than others. Also,
tell me what to do, Kaputt.
Look at this list. The water in Anubis is only 2 tiers below Rocky, on the same tier as Chow. So.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you're talking about the tier list, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's because people who do not have Rocky will bring.
Yeah, would potentially bring water Anubis, which blows my mind. Like, I guess counter picks make sense and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, the druids, like some of them,
you cut out a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, the druids, they have long cooldowns, right? And like some of them are good. Like I think the wind one is crazy. I don't see it anywhere. In my experience with the wind one, it's crazy.
Yeah, he's good. The dark one's really good too, right, Kaputt?
That's really
clearly the dark one is good. So the druids, but they're definitely more balanced. Like they're not made to take. They're not like infinite turn machines, like like Diana mainly, but like the fire one can do it too. And just
and I'll point out too.
From Diana is what's insane is like they're tanky, they're strong, they should never get caught out in their vulnerable form. And then they just like you bring Diana with a nuker, or Diana with like a Ciara or something, and it's just like you can't, like, you know what I mean? Like you can't live against like I don't know. I have a really hard time with it.
What are you talking about, man? You just bring Diana and she just melts everyone.
Yeah, I mean she does. She melts everyone by herself. Like you don't need a DPS. That's the insane part, right? Like you bring Diana on a team with a bunch of tanks. I mean that's why Bulwark is crazy right now too. Is like he literally can nuke people down to 1 health after 2 turns if you have the right team, and then like you plink people like same concept as like Molong or whatever, right? With that 70% nuke, but Bulwark just stacks these 50% nukes. Diana literally is like the tankiest monster in the history of monsters, who also gains attack bar and just like switches forms and nukes people down, and then switches straight back to their tanky form, and it's like cool.
And I'll point out too, like she has an advantage over Helena. Like Amelia, you don't really switch forms as much. You want the immunity, right?
Yeah.
But Helena, as soon as you kill one monster, then you don't really get to change form again because you won't get a full attack bar. And like Diana is single target, so like I guess against fire targets you might not crit, but that's the only downside to that.
Like with elemental disadvantage, you might get caught out, but otherwise, when did this podcast turn into a Diana rant?
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, and you mentioned Bulwark too. Like at least Bulwark isn't hamstrung by that same thing. Like Bulwark doesn't glance on his 50% nuke, which is honestly kind of mind-boggling to me still.
Bulwark is crazy. Does Bulwark's nuke work through immunity too?
Yes.
Through immunity, not invincibility though.
Okay, cool. But like, what the fuck? like he's broken. He's like,
I mean, just ban him. Strong. Just ban him.
I usually do.
There's a reason why streamers and top RTA players want Bulwark so badly, right?
Yeah.
I've been watching streams and YouTube VODs, right? Then those of them who do not have Bulwark all keep saying they want him. So yeah.
Honestly, so I pulled mine from a blessing, and the choice was between the water paladin. Yeah, and Bulwark, and like I took like an hour to decide because I was just unfamiliar with Bulwark, and I knew the paladins were all pretty decent in one area or another, and so I was like, and I even know like the water one can be used. Yeah, also. She's good. Yeah.
I don't think it would have been the wrong choice, but Bulwark is hot shit right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I like would have. I probably would have regretted going water paladin actually. I think like just the use that I've gotten out of Bulwark and like the things that he can do. Like honestly, his kid is really insane.
And he technically doesn't need skill ups, does he? Right?
Yeah, right.
He doesn't, but all his skill ups give him 100% chance to strip on his S1. He doesn't have a cooldown on his S2. So like,
right, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, I guess. Does it help his passive? Like, how many devils does Bulwark need?
12. Oh.
What do the 12 go into?
S1.
Yeah,
all
of it's it's all S1, and it's some of its damage, and then some of it's also like chance to strip.
Honestly, that can all fuck off. Like, I would not shove 12 devils into Bulwark.
Well, and here's the thing though, is you steal the beneficial effect and give him that extra counter. So if you were sitting at 4 or 3 even, and then maybe get one from a teammate, an ally or whatever, then you strip one, you get 4, get another from your teammate, and then on his next turn he's ready to nuke, where it would take another 2 turns for him to nuke otherwise. So
I understand stripping is cool, like, and literally stripping is good. Like, if you need to strip something, that's all huge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Bulwark can strip something. I get that. But like, fuck 12 devil moms just to increase the strip chance by 50%.
No, it maxes it to 100, so he'd have 100% chance to strip on his S1.
Right. But you put 12 devil moms in to get 50% more chance.
No, I think you're confused. It starts at 15%.
It starts at 15? I thought it was 50.
No, 15%.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get it. I understand why you might want to put doubles into. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
50.
I wish, dude. Yeah, Bulwark is strong. I wanted to talk about Nat 4s though, and we talked about a lot of Nat 5s.
Okay.
Which is not bad. It doesn't really matter. Actually, one thing I did notice.
What list are you on, so I can try and
I'm still looking at the tier list that was made by Skit, and then the other 2 names I can't pronounce.
Bird is great.
Yes.
Is,
so
is the shit.
Yeah, and Tetra being that high is something I didn't or Platy, sorry, not Tetra. Platy being that high is something I didn't expect, but strip S1.
Yeah, she has a good kit.
Got a revive on her S2.
Are great.
Yeah, so I thought that was really strong. Who else was on there? Platy is actually on the list. She's a little lower. Obviously Shayna. And then
Kaputt, what do you? I'm gonna ask Kaputt this, but you can chime in too. What do you think about Azaria or whatever, the water succubus is like? Does she actually bring? Do you think that it's worth building? Because I have Shayna, or that's I have Shayna as the speed lead, and that's all. Like, do you think she's worth building?
Honestly, right, I have no idea. I do not have her. I have not built her. I've never used her, and I don't really see her. Yeah,
I've seen replays of Guardian players use bringing value, but like, I feel like I would need to have Guardian level runes to make her be a thing.
I mean it's like I think she's just a toy, right? She's just a toy for Guardian players. They have everything, like those. Sometimes when the Guardian players, they purposely choose less meta units because they're streaming. They want to use it for content and all that. Yeah. But if they were really try-harding, I don't think they would use Azaria. Although I think in SWC somebody used her, right?
Yeah, dude. I think BD picked her in like the world final.
Yeah.
But it never caught on. It never caught on, and
yeah. But that's like where I first started looking at her, and then
I was about to say like BD.
People saw that, literally, the best player in the world picked her in the world final, which means she had, it made sense, I guess, in the she had the elemental advantage, I think, and the speed lead that he needed, but it was he clearly was tryharding and picked her, but also it was very, very niche, I guess.
More like it works for him.
Yeah.
Right? If she was truly top tier good, everybody would be using her. Like Fran.
Yeah.
Like Fran. Yeah, I was going to say like Fran.
Which I guess there's all these meta units that do a job the best, but there's plenty of other units, same thing, like Rocky and the water inhibitor. You know what I mean? Like there's all these units that have, like, there's other units that can do the similar thing. They don't have the exact same kit, but they can still bring the utility. Like if you need a specific role filled, there's a bunch of units that can fill. And the reason that the meta units, like the reason Vanessa's up there is because she has, you know, revive, like anti-one lead, she has armor break. You know what I mean? Like that's insane. But if you need just a speed lead, there's speed leads. If you need just an armor break, there's plenty of armor break. You know, that same concept. Like if you can fill a role, you can fill a role with multiple off meta units.
Yeah,
it's a good point that you brought up. It's really about roles, right? So every top meta unit right now, they actually fulfill a multitude of roles. I was actually doing this this week when I was trying to do my RTA team, right? I actually listed down, like, you know, what are the roles that are crucial for RTA. So I wrote down, like, you know, some units bring buffs, some units you need defense break, you need strippers, you need sustain, you need immunity. Then there's death prevention, there is revive. Those are less important than others. But you need to look at your kit, your box, and look at, like, okay, which are the units that fulfill roles, and what are the overlaps. And ideally, you would need 2 of each role. You just get banned. Just bring
right.
one of it.
I mean, that's
right?
why you pick double immunity or double DPS or whatever.
Yeah,
that, so, or you know, counter pick too. That's always something to consider when, you know, Fran is in everyone's box. So.
Something so good. I realized why Fran was so good, right? It's because when I listed down all these roles, right, Fran actually fulfills 4 roles instead of the usual 3.
Yeah.
In order to be a top tier meta unit, right, you need to at least fit into 3 roles. So for example, right, Vanessa has defense break. Vanessa can nuke if you build her as hybrid. So that's 3 roles.
With the speed lead and anti-revive too. You kind of cut out. So the last one you said was like anti-revive, right?
Yes. Death prevention. Okay. Yeah. So Fran has 4.
Or, yeah,
Fran
sorry.
Not anti-revive.
My bad.
Fran has a pseudo stun. Fran has heals. Fran cleanses. Fran has immunity.
Yeah.
And attack buff too.
I swear, Fran's stun rate is like 100 fucking. I know it's, not, but it's like if you're gonna get anything, like when I literally, that's the thing. Like when I click on someone with my Wusa S1, I do not expect it to go to sleep. Right? I do not expect it to go to bed. But when I click on something with my Fran S1, I expect something meaningful to happen. It's gonna get attack broken. It's probably stunned too. Fran is just like very crunchy, like it's actionable. When you S1 something with Fran, it's just as meaningful as if you're like cleansing with S2 or providing immunity with S3. Every one of Fran's skills feels good.
And that's a good point that you make too, Kaputt, about like the multiple roles thing. And like I was thinking about it literally today with Bulwark. Like you know, he's a tank, so he has his own kind of sustain through that and good base stats. But then he nukes without glancing. He can heal the whole team and fully skilled strips with his S1. Not only strips, but steals the buffs. So like, you know, you've got a stripper for immunity that gives him immunity. And yeah, it's really nice.
So Bulwark fulfills 4 roles, which is why he's so good, right? What a beginning player who wants to get into RTA should consider is that they need to look at their box and if a lineup that covers most of these roles.
Yeah.
So I was sitting down with a G1 G1 G2 guildie just this week, right? And he told me something very interesting which I've learned which I've learned. He said to me that, okay, come up with your 2 to 3 core units first. 5 picks, right? You need to have like 2 or 3 that you pick every game. Okay, so this will be your core team, and there will be 2 flex spots. So you have to make sure that these 3 units that are a core team, right, covers almost every single role. For him, right, personally, his core team is Valadrul, Bastet, Okeanos. And I was very surprised because I've not heard of this before, right? So I asked him to explain to me why these 3. So he was telling me that Oki brings reset, Oki brings CC, and CC. Bastet brings buffs, attack buff. She brings shield, which is a sort of sustain.
Yeah.
She brings AOE, defense break, glancing debuffs, randomly defense breaks, which enables your nukers, and she brings attack break, attack speed, attack bar, and lastly, Valadrul brings immunity, and Valadrul strips with his S1 sometimes, and Valadrul is actually a nuker.
Yeah.
Well, and doesn't
with these 3, it actually covers almost everything.
Well,
and he doesn't have prevention.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt. My bad. But yeah, Valadrul also attack bar boosts, doesn't he? Or am I mistaken on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can get a lot of that with, just filling some of those flex spots with, and you don't have to have that core team, obviously. But yeah, you can get this same concept with, non-meta, even non-Nat 5 units. And it is possible to still be competitive. And ultimately at the end of the day, like, something I've come to terms with is, there's always going to be someone who's better than me out there. So I just try to have fun, with what I've got and live in the moment of tilting that other player on the other end. But, I know we're running a little over than we normally do. So, if you guys have anything you want to say before we wrap up, and we can kind of.
Yeah, I'm pretty set. I think there's still plenty more we could talk about. So I'd in the future love to have you back. But we're not even cutting it short. I have to bail, but it's also we've been going for an hour and 5 minutes. But yeah, this has been great. Like every time I talk to you, whether it's in our Discord or here on this cast, like I'm learning more and more about the game. You have a ton of awesome knowledge, and I do really appreciate you taking the time to come on and chat with us and everything.
Same.
Glad to come on to the longest running oldest Summoners War podcast.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But yeah, that's it for me. I think I said plenty. Again, thanks everyone for listening. We have a YouTube version again. See my face and my iPad lagging and me wanting to die. And then hopefully Jaren will have a webcam soon, and then maybe we can even get our guests to have webcams, and we'll all be having FaceTime with our faces.
FaceTime with face.
Again, dude, you're really going off, Ben. But yeah, that's it for me. So I'll let you two finish it off.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kaputt, and then I'll wrap it up.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys. If there are any Singaporeans listening and you want a guild, please apply to SG Kaki.
All right.
And I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, and we really have enjoyed having you on, and thanks for all the help that you've offered us too. It's been a lot of fun. I do want to just thank everyone for listening, and again, join the Discord, guys. We have a lot of good conversations and stuff going on in there, a lot of cool stuff happening, and honestly, it's just a chill place to sit and talk to other people about Summoners War. So we'll catch you guys next week, and thanks for listening.